Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being on this call today. I'm so pleased to be here on behalf of TaxWatch. Before I had an opportunity to serve in the Senate, many of you may know, some may not, that I spent time working in the executive office of the governor as well as in the Attorney General's office. And in those roles, I really came to value the men and women of our state who work tirelessly every day for the people of Florida. I'm so grateful that every day we have so many, I guess more than 100,000 now, state employees who are providing those essential services to make sure that Florida is the best place to work, to live, and to raise a family. Today, we are going to honor those state employees who have, through their own ingenuity, provided the state of Florida benefits that will allow us to save money and be able to spend those dollars in other ways on behalf of the people of Florida. For 32 years now, Florida Tax Watch and our generous partners have been rewarding and recognizing enterprising state employees for their innovative and cost-saving accomplishments. Today, we will recognize our award winners for their pioneering spirit. Each of you is a great example to the rest of our state and our state employees because you've gone above and beyond the call of duty. And the taxpayers of Florida are grateful for your service. As winners, you will join the prestigious ranks of state employees who have implemented creative solutions that, as of today, have produced more than $10 billion in cost savings, cost avoidances, and added values to the taxpayers of Florida. We're going to hear about your accomplishments today and from a number of your agency leaders about the work that's being done across your state. And we'll also hear from our major sponsors without whom this program would not be possible. So just again, thank you so much for the good work that you do day in and day out for the people of Florida. Thank you for your innovation. Thanks for taking the extra step to find these cost savings and cost avoidance measures. We're really grateful for the work that you're doing. And I'll turn it over now to our CEO and pioneer of Florida Tax Watch, Dominic Calabro.
Thank you, Senator, and thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just for those who are not familiar, our chairman, Senator George Lemieux, was appointed to serve in the United States Senate, finishing the term of Senator Mel Martinez, and served for either 14 or 16 months and actually accomplished more in a bipartisan fashion there than most have done in many years of service. So thank you for your continued service through the not only your public service directly, but also elected service and appointed service, but also through your service as a community leader and chairman of Florida Tax Watch and so many other great ventures that you're involved in. Florida Tax Watch has really been honored to be the eyes and ears of the taxpayers. And in so doing, we have really been fortunate to call upon a program to reward and recognize, try to replicate excellence in state government. It's not only the only program in the state of Florida that does this, it certainly has done it for now 3 going on 4 decades, but it's the only one in the country. It's really fascinating that it's the only one in the nation that is of this size, scope, and nature that really tries to capture the wonderful innovations and reward and recognize many of you here today and those that have gone before you and those who are yet to come, because we know we get more of what we encourage, reward, and honor and celebrate. So very briefly, with the Davis family that started this, came to me, Mr. J. Davis, co-founder of Winn-Dixie, co-founder of Florida Tax Watch, came to me in the mid-1980s, late mid-1980s, and asked Florida Tax Watch to develop a program that emulated what they were doing in their business of rewarding, recognize their associates. So we actually spent about 2 years, Florida Tax Watch worked with the best minds in the universities to look at motivation, ways of recognizing, rewarding, innovation, performance, productivity. And we really found that through both psychology and also economics, the only way to improve the standard of living over time is through innovation, productivity, and working harder, but also increasingly working smarter and using tools around you to improve the processes by which you deliver goods and services and improvements to the people and communities that you serve. So with that in mind, we developed the Davis Productivity Awards, later became the Prudential Productivity Awards, and now the Florida Tax Watch Productivity Awards. really, this would not be possible without the really substantial support of the private sector. This is not a government-funded program. It's supported by the generous um, philanthropy and really outstanding partners. And primary among them is the primary sponsor, Kyra Solutions. I'll be talking with the president of Kyra Solutions after I introduce the rest of the sponsors, but I want to say this about Kyra. Florida TaxWatch tries through its own mission to not only inform and educate, but to add taxpayer value, to do things, again, better, smarter. We can't do that. We can recommend things till the cows come home, but that doesn't matter unless you actually take those good ideas and implement them, but even make them better. And that's what Kyra does, and day in and day out through many of your agencies that are embedded throughout there, also through technological innovations. So they are really represent the spirit of innovation and performance and productivity enhancements that make life better, lower costs, and improve the outcomes through the good work that you do. So they work hand in hand to do that. So we're really, really appreciate that our key sponsor very much emulates by their whole culture and their performance, the very ideals of the Florida TaxWatch Productivity Awards program. Next, we have, of course, our long-standing 32-year co-sponsor with this, with Florida TaxWatch, the state of Florida. We also have the Florida Council 100. Bob Ward is the president CEO. Thank you, Bob. You all have been tremendous supporters of this activity. And it's really important because we're trying to bring business practices to the delivery and value add of state government services. We know government and the private sector are different. They have different incentive models and the like, but all the more reason we can be more business-like, yet understanding government has a unique mission of pro bono for the good of all. And yet by bringing those business practices through Florida TaxWatch, through our friends at the Florida Council 100, we're being able to emulate and represent the best throughout the people of Florida. So thank you, Bob. Right up there is our corporate treasurer, Mr. Jim Repp. Jim's the president and chief operating officer of Avmed. Avmed is a recognized leader in healthcare and providing access, providing innovation, helping to lower and control costs in an area that's very, very challenging, and doing it so well with a lot of improved customer service, and that is very, very gratifying. With them, John Hogan is the president of Capital Health Plan right here in the North Florida community. Their footprint is enormous. John's been the founding president for many, many years, has done a phenomenal job, and they too have done a great job of keeping high quality access and low cost. So thank you, John, and all of our friends at Capital Health Plan. You, again, continue to emulate and provide healthcare to the thousands and tens of thousands of state government employees and their families, independents, that's so critically vital so they can perform the services for the people of Florida. Next, we have Fpnl, Florida Power and Light. You think, well, who's the biggest customer of Fpnl services? State government. Think about it. All the electricity, all the output that they produce. They are an incredible innovator and innovative company that help drive down the costs to make electricity more and more affordable, so for low income, for working families, small businesses to thrive and do well. So thank you all at Florida Power and Light. In a different arena, we have the Health and Social Services through the Florida Network of Youth and Family Services. Their president CEO, Stacy Gromaski. I want to thank Ms. Gromaski for doing a great job by the work of the Florida Network, protecting our kids and families that are vulnerable, making sure they can be rejoined and live more productive and healthy lives. You provide a great service and save the taxpayers of Florida millions of dollars. So thank you in that way, in an area that's very challenging, particularly during this COVID pandemic. The network agencies around the state have done a tremendous job, and we thank you and the volunteer leadership of the Florida Network as well. So additionally, we have Brandt Information Systems. John Thomas, the president of that, has done a great job. They're very innovative. They do licensing throughout not only Florida, but throughout the nation. And they really do it in a very smart, efficient, and cost-effective way. So thank you, John, very much. And you also help emulate this kind of innovation. We also have Dr. Matt with Accenture, Matt Duke with Accenture, that represents some of the best ways of providing innovative solutions and contracting services. You do it in a thoughtful, competitive, and reasonable way to make things better for hundreds of thousands, millions of Floridians as well. So thank you for using this and participating to support the excellence that you all represent in your own business practices. We also have Florida Trend Magazine, the publisher and the organization there. It's a business magazine, and they help promote to the business community the great work that all of you do. So thank you all very, very much there. Another one, public supermarkets and public supermarkets charities, is interesting because, you know, for many years, they have been competitors to Winn-Dixie, and still are to some extent, but Barney Barnett, vice chairman of public supermarkets and one of our chairmen years past, now John Provenzano, who's vice president of Publix, they support this because it's a great program. We know that Publix is one of the best, most respected companies in Florida and certainly throughout the nation, because they focus on customer service, high quality, low, and trying to keep the cost as competitive and reasonable as possible, and provide a safe place to buy the needed goods and services. So thank you, our good friends at Publix, for all you do in so many wonderful ways. We also have Ajax and Ajax Construction, Jay Smith. You continue to be an innovator in construction for our universities, our colleges, schools, and our universities and our public facilities across the state. Very safe, very smart, very, very thoughtful, and thank you for your continued support. We also have our friends at the Florida Institute of Certified Public Accountants, the CPAs. Justin Thames continues to represent the industry so well, and they're a vital part of making sure they can capture the accountability and the good work that's being done throughout all of our systems of government. We also have a great leader right here in the Tallahassee community in healthcare, a national leader, Mark O'Brien, who's the president and CEO of Tallahassee Memorial Regional Healthcare, has been former president of the Florida Hospital Association in the Southeast region of the nation, and brings to bear better ways of being more innovative, healthcare delivery, telehealth, and the ways of providing better quality care to all the citizens and many state employees. And so we thank you, Mark, and your wonderful team of innovative folks, as well as Premier Jim in healthcare. We also have lead engineering, Mauricio. We really appreciate you, Gonzalez. Mauricio Gonzalez, thank you. You're a great leader, innovator, very smart. Make sure you get things done, someone that you can always depend on to find a way or make a way to solve the problems that you may run into. Then we have a couple of smaller sponsors that nonetheless really put their money where their mouth is, and particularly Steve and Linda Evans. And I want to have a little shout out to Mrs. Evans. This is her birthday. She's 39 once again. Happy birthday. We love you, and you are just phenomenal. Thanks for sharing Steve with all of us. And also my wife and I, Debbie and I, we support this program because we believe in it. We believe in you. We believe in all the wonderful things you do. So without further ado, this program is going to be guided by our Vice President of Communications, Chris Berry. Before I introduce him, I'd like to turn it over to our presenting sponsor, who is Rebecca Dorworth, President of Kyra Solutions. Rebecca, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dominic and Senator Lemieux, for your opening comments. We're very proud to again be the title sponsor of the Florida TaxWatch Productivity Awards program. And thank you to all of our joint program sponsors as well. We're proud to be a sponsor because not only because we believe in its work, but also because we work alongside you for the people of Florida. Many of you know us, Kyra Solutions, well, but some of you may not. We partner with over 24 state agencies through both individual technology consulting and full system project implementations that are digitally transforming our state to provide better regulatory systems and services for use by you, our valued state employees, to accomplish your mission, and also to improve citizen engagement for Floridians. We work hard to help state agencies accomplish the mission to drive change and continually make the state, as Senator Lemieux said, a better place to live, work, and raise our families. We are honored to share in and be a part of the TaxWatch mission to recognize state employees as the unsung heroes of our society. Amidst this global pandemic, we found out who was truly essential, and that included all of you. So thank you. As a former state employee myself, this is incredibly special for me to get to honor all of you, as I know firsthand the incredible work you are doing each day to improve the quality of life for Floridians. Our world has changed, but we have adapted. Many of these awards are from pre-pandemic projects, but we also recognize today innovations that were inspired by this great shared adversity. Thank you all for rising to this global challenge to keep Florida and our world moving forward. So on behalf of Kyra Solutions, a hearty congratulations to all of our winners. And I will turn it over now to Chris for the main event.
All right. Thank you very much, Rebecca. Good to see everybody. Good afternoon. Obviously, this year is a little different. I'm sad that we're not able to be on the road with you, getting to meet everybody, getting to hand out plaques and checks. And you know, it's a fun trip for us down to Fort Lauderdale and to Lakeland. It's a fun trip, and you know, it's a fun meeting in Tallahassee. Everybody gets to get together. Unfortunately, that's not exactly possible right now. So I do want to mention I've gotten a few questions from folks since we announced your plaques will be available likely in January. I have your checks if you are a cash winner and you're in Tallahassee, and we'll do email addresses at the end. But if you want to shoot me an email, or actually my colleague Kyle, who's over to my right, can put my email address in the chat for everybody to see. If you want to shoot me an email, we can coordinate having you come pick up your check in case you want it faster. Hopefully we can get those to everybody before the holiday. So we have a few cash winners we're going to hear from today. We've also got some agency leadership that are on the line among our many, many participants today. So I'm going to just dive right in. Our first cash winner today, and I'm going to do my very best not to butcher your name, is Nariman Nasarwanji. And he's from Florida State University. He found a unique feature in FSU's HVAC system that should have a long-lasting impact. So we're going to go to Nariman.
Okay, thank you so much. It is with great pleasure, honor, and humility that I'm asked to speak today. My name is Nariman Nasarwanji, and you didn't butcher my name. Thank you. Presently, I'm an energy engineer at FSU, and I work under a very good boss, Jim Stevens. The project under discussion was started about 2 years ago and entailed the detailed capture of about 800 large HVAC fans. These fans total a design electrical load capacity of 2,600 horsepower, so it's big units. The mission was to precisely separate plug from fan loads. Initially, the plan was to install individual electric meters on each of the 800 large fans, but the cost was over $800,000 to do this. Instead, the university used the energy data embedded within each of the fan's existing variable frequency drives, thus defraying this cost completely. All subsequent computer programming, collection, and tabulation of 7 million data points annually was done entirely by FSU. FSU can now track and determine equipment problems, as well focus and implement true energy reduction. The multitude advantage of this process is that any fan energy conservation through optimization can now be officially recorded and used to dispute any exorbitant claims by vendors that use crafted generic modeling process. Finally, I'm happy to say that on a subsequent and related project, FSU has now, in the last 8 months, documented savings of about 854,000 kilowatt hours through observed fan power optimization. Once again, thanks to all for allowing me to speak today. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Nariman. Next up, we're going to meet Dr. Matt Duke from our lovely sponsor, Accenture.
Thank you. My name is Matt Duke, and I'm here on behalf of Accenture to present the next award winner. As you may know, Accenture is a global professional services company providing consulting, technology, interactive, and operation solutions to businesses, governments, and institutions of higher education alike. Accenture is proud to have more than 1,000 people living throughout the state of Florida, working and serving in the same communities as you do. And much like the stories you're hearing today, Accenture's Florida-based employees embrace our company's purpose, which is to deliver on the promise of technology and human ingenuity. And that's why Accenture has supported these productivity awards for more than a decade. Now let's hear from our next cash award winner, Mr. Robbie Rizzouk, who has given our state's K-12 teachers a fantastic tool to engage kids in STEM program, a solution that even ended up being featured on the Discovery Channel. Robbie, over to you.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Florida TaxWatch and all the sponsors for this award. I'm very honored and humbled to receive this for a project that I'm very passionate about. At the Learning Systems Institute and Florida State University, we're constantly looking at ways to help teaching and learning in classrooms within our state. We do large research projects and development from teacher training to developing software applications and tools, to developing curricular resources, and much more. Over our last, the Learning Systems Institute is about 50 years old, and we had a lot of research done, and we know hands-on teaching and learning is very effective. However, often hands-on requires access to expensive lab equipment, manipulatives, and supplies, and which is often not used in the classroom as much as usually teachers would like to do so. In order to do these things well, teachers are required to have a classroom set and not just one of things. And for example, a high school biology teacher who wants to use a DNA model, it costs between $200 and $500 each. And then they need 15 or 30 of these DNA models for the kids to have access to it. That makes it very expensive to do. Or a pulley system when they're working and learning physical sciences, they would cost it maybe $50 each without even the lab table, which costs $1,500 each. And so on, many examples like that. One day we were doing professional development for teacher training, and we were using rocket launching kit to teach the concept of projectile motion in physical science education. That kit cost us $1,200. Teachers loved the activity. They learned the concepts very well, and they couldn't turn around and do the same with their students because it was very expensive. One teacher was selling candy bars to buy that kit. And that sparked the idea that I had to develop my STEM kits. My STEM kits is 300 3D printable kits that we created that are specifically created to teach the hard topics in math and science that are very specific to our state standards. And they are very cheap and easy to produce. With 3D printers becoming more popular and affordable to schools, a teacher can produce one of these kits for pennies. The DNL model that I explained now costs 50 cents. This is the first time a teacher can afford actually giving away the manipulative to the student to take home to show their parents or their siblings what they're learning in the school. Each of these kits come with all the parts, with everything, including we created 300 full STEM lessons and activities that teachers can use. All of these activities are research-based, and we've done research on them in the classroom and know that they're effective. In order to do this and help everybody, I created a lab of 150 3D printers in our office, and we ran it like a factory for several years. And we produced more than 225,000 of these kits that we gave to Florida teachers. We also provided 600 3D printers to schools across the state. And that became micro factories for learning and teaching. Not only we made it cheap, we also made it exciting, but most importantly, it was effective. Kids were involved in producing these kits that they use for learning and teaching in their own schools, which was very powerful. It kind of taught them the idea, if you don't have it, you can make it. And they also now have printers to make it and learn new skill sets as well. One high school in Charlotte County had their students run the 3D printers as part of their business class. They took orders from customers, the teachers, and they had to deliver on time. They had to manage inventory, supplies, production, and delivery, just like you're running a factory and a business. Not only they benefited from hands-on learning, the students that received the kits also had hands-on activities. Our work is funded by contracts and grants, which is often limited to the work we can do and how often we can go. And often products we create on these grants go on the shelf, but in this case, FSU licensed and commercialized this product, and now it's available to teachers all around the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Robbie. It's a very cool thing, and I'm sincerely hoping that my 7-year-old gets access to that at some point soon. Next up, we are going to go to DOR Executive Director, Dr. Jim Zingali.
Thank you so much. I just hit unmute, trying to see if I got the technology working. Somebody give me you can hear me. I've returned to the Department of Revenue after a retirement. I've been head here under Governor DeSantis for 2 years. Love coming back into public service. My second year has been a COVID year where you couldn't help but be not only impressed with the magnitude of the change that had to take place over this last 12 months, just to maintain or improve the quality of service to those that we serve. Department of Revenue is the 4th largest state agency, over 5,000 employees. And while you wouldn't think about it, we not only have the tax administration program, but we also administer the child support enforcement program. And we oversee property appraisers and tax collectors from all over the state of Florida. It's been a heck of a year at the closing of office levels, at the sending employees home to telework. DOR went through a transformation this year of providing same or similar services that people coming into our offices were receiving, but doing it remotely. Last year, we had 650,000 visitors to our local child support enforcement offices. All of those offices are closed today and getting similar, and in some cases, better service than they did before. Tax administration certainly had to deal with the closure of a large number of businesses early on for social distancing and other reasons. We had to keep and work with taxpayers to extend their due dates and their deadlines and work with them so they could pay their bills. Property tax was equally difficult, not being able to work as effectively in our role oversight program. I say that because in addition to all that went on, the Department of Revenue had 11 TaxWatch winners, 11. At the large team winner level, Tara Talbot's team from GTA won an award. At the technology level, we had 5 award winners. Willie Mitchell had 1. Mary Whitaker's team had 2. Mark Hamilton, our general counsel, had 1. And Shara Hightower from ISP had another 1. In the service category, Patterson Paulson, a nominee, her team had a winner. Karen Teresi, Kevin Elliott, all from child support, had winners. Vance Roberts from ISP and PTO, Cassandra Day, had winners. All that while tremendous change and transformation was going on. We're one of the few agencies that are organized by business process, and being able to maintain and continue public service at the same time we were trying to improve what we were doing on an ongoing basis. Cut cost, raise productivity, but always continue to deliver the services that are needed. I'm very proud to be a public servant, very proud to be head of the Department of Revenue, but mostly very proud to work with these wonderful people. Thank you very much.
And thank you, Dr. Zingali. Next up, we're going to hear from our long-term sponsor, Brian Brown with Avmed Health Plans.
Good job. Fantastic. Going to definitely get further away from that picture.
Good afternoon. I'm Brian Brown. I thank you, Chris, for the opportunity. Thank you to TaxWatch and Kyra Solutions for your efforts to host the Productivity Awards again. Now more than ever, We need to celebrate success and innovation, and Avmed is proud and honored to be a part of this celebration yet again. You know, it's been an interesting year where we have learned a lot over the course of the year. There's phrases, social distancing, some of those other things that we have seen that are new to us. I think, and we keep talking about a new normal. The one thing I want to highlight is, I think what has been constant through all of this, and that was very evident from the very beginning of this, is the innovation and the work ethic and the pride, and really the pride that you all take in the work that you do as state employees. And it's very humbling to have a chance to honor you each year. Avmed is Florida founded, headquartered, and focused. We've been proudly serving state employees and retirees and their families for over 30 years. And our interactive health and wellness programs help our members to live healthier, more productive lives. And we hope that through our programs, it's fueled some of the work that you all have done. So again, we are very proud to be a part of this program. We, being again a Florida focused and Florida founded company, appreciate all the work that you state employees do and the support that your families provide as well to help you go out and make this a great state to live and work in. So on behalf of Avmed, our members, our providers, and associates, congratulations to all of the award winners. Thank you for all your efforts to make Florida the best state in the union to live and work in. And congratulations and happy holidays. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Excuse me. Our next cash award winner we're going to hear from is Miss Christine Smith from DOH, whose team's work on breastfeeding rates in Polk County resulted in increased rates nearly 4 times that of the state as a whole. Christine. You are muted. Looks like we're not hearing Christine. You are unmuted, but we are not picking you up. All right, let's do this. Christine, if you can check your microphone settings, and I'm going to move us, and we will come back around to you. I'm going to move us to next up, actually from DOH as well, is Amanda Woodward, whose team's innovative use of an existing radio system allowed for shorter lines at their COVID testing sites. Amanda.
Good afternoon. I would like to thank the committee first off for even considering our project for an award of this type. I came on to DOH about 8 months ago when all of this happened, and I'm the emergency preparedness program manager. And while I came on board, there was a lot of changes and things that were happening because of COVID, and we were trying to develop great ways to be able to test mass amounts of people while keeping all of our workers and the constituents that were coming into our testing sites safe. I had noted that we had a low power portable transmitter, an AM radio station that was purchased by the health department in 2009. It's typically used for mass casualty incidents and emergencies where communication is incapacitated. Unfortunately, it really hadn't been used at all. It was kind of sitting in one of our disaster trailers, just kind of buried in the back, and nobody had really dragged it out and used it. So while we were in an incident management team meeting, we had talked about our concerns for our workers and the need to be able to funnel people through our drive-through clinics for COVID testing. So we had decided as a team that we were going to use this portable radio station to be able to disseminate information to the clients that would come into the testing site. It would tell them where they would need to go within the traffic pattern, what was going to be expected of them. what was really going to happen to them and how long the whole process would take. What this really did was it decreased the amount of time that it took to bring an individual through the entire process of the drive-through, thereby increasing our productivity. It also decreased the amount of risk that we incurred of incident and injury to both the constituents that were coming through the test site, but also most importantly to our workers who were working there and could have a number of different things that could occur if we didn't watch out for their safety. So that by far is our biggest achievement.
Great, thank you, Amanda. I see Christina's rejoined us.
We'll try. Can you hear
Hey,
me?
we can hear you. All right.
Thank you. Much like always in my life, I just logged out and logged back in again, so I'm not sure what was up before. I'm Christine Smith, a board certified lactation consultant and health educator for the WIC and Nutrition Division in Polk County. And I'm honored to speak on behalf of my team, Ashley McMillian, a certified lactation consultant and breastfeeding peer counselor, and Suzanne Wright, a certified lactation consultant and former WIC and Nutrition Division director. Knowing that Black babies are 3 to 4 times more likely to die than babies of all other races, and that breastfeeding is a powerful tool to improve health outcomes and promote health equity, we made a targeted effort to increase the breastfeeding rates for Black infants in Polk County. Studies show that culturally appropriate breastfeeding promotion is the key to reaching Black women. We provided targeted messaging to our WIC clients and staff and participated in organizations and events for women of color. Ashley, my teammate, started a Black women breastfeeding support group and received a Persons of Color Lactation Education Scholarship for her work. So as a result, our Black breastfeeding rates increased 3.58% in an 18-month period, and our Black infant death rate decreased by 10%. This change not only saved lives, but saved the state approximately $2.7 million in medical, non-medical, and death costs. And that's it.
Fantastic. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So we've got one more cash winner to hear from this morning, which is Mr. James Cobb. Oh, this morning, it's like 3:30 afternoon, sorry. Mr. James Cobb, whose team's work on the distribution of a hepatitis A vaccine sure sounds like something we could use a whole lot more of right now.
Thank you, Chris. And I'd like to also thank the TaxWatch Award Committee for approving our nomination for an award. It's fitting that we have this award today because what we do here in immunizations is we try and prevent those diseases that are vaccine preventable. And here we are in the throes of the pandemic. And today is just the second day of the release of the Pfizer vaccine. So we are really prepared to continue on with our mission, which is essentially to get vaccines in every child's arm that can prevent these diseases, as well as adults, from what is recommended from the Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices. But again, our mission is to prevent vaccine preventable diseases. And this particular nomination that we made was for a hepatitis A outbreak. Our surveillance program identified a marked increase in cases of hepatitis A. And with that, we had to try our best to mobilize our effort to do what we could do to get to the at-risk population. And that at-risk population involved recently incarcerated populations, intravenous and non-intravenous drug users, and the homeless population. Our traditional way of providing adult vaccines largely encompasses the county health departments and the federally qualified health centers. What we needed to do is to penetrate that at-risk population by means that we were normally not achieving through that mechanism. So what we did was we started enrolling non-traditional community partners that could get to those populations, whether they were drug treatment centers, jails, homeless shelters, and actually even homeless camps through our nurse strike teams. So I'm proud to say that we were able to enroll virtually all of the county jails. We were able to enroll a number of treatment centers and providers, neighborhood clinics that provide medical care to the indigent population. And so again, with that in mind, our target to vaccinate the susceptible population, which by CDC's standards is 80% in order to address an outbreak, we were able to administer from January through 2018 through June of 2020, 418,432 hepatitis A vaccines were administered to the public. Now, where we are right now is we're just under 20% remaining of our target population. So we are seeing a tremendous effect in that, in the sense that in 2019, there were 3,405 cases of hepatitis A reported in Florida. And we're about to close out the year of 2020. I'm proud to say that right now we have 971 cases of hepatitis A reported to this state. The other thing that we were able to do is we were able to utilize our federal contract price list for purchasing vaccine because of the tremendous population numbers that we were needing to reach. We had to come up with additional funding and to come up with the additional vaccine to get out to that population. So in terms of cost savings, we actually resulted in a cost savings of $7,487,521 using the federal contract. Had we needed to purchase the vaccine in other venues, it would have cost us a much greater number. So we're proud to say that we not only save taxpayers dollars, but as you can see, the number of cases of hepatitis A have come down to a very low number, and we're continuing to proceed with lowering those numbers as well. Thank you.
Great, thank you. We are privileged this afternoon to be joined by several agency leaders. First one we're going to hear from is DOH Deputy Secretary, Dr. Roberson.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dr. Roberson, Deputy Secretary of Health here at the Florida Department of Health, and we're very pleased to congratulate all of the award winners here today. We are especially proud of the staff members from the Department of Health, Christine, Amanda, and James. Thank you for sharing about your projects and congratulations. This year, the department has 20 projects and over 40 staff recognized for their innovation and productivity improvements. The 2020 TaxWatch Productivity Awards recognized 4 awardees from our central office in Tallahassee. There are also 16 county health departments that are honored with an award today as well. I want to emphasize to everyone that these achievements were gained during one of the most difficult years in public health history. All of our teams are involved in the statewide COVID-19 response, and like they said earlier, we are laser beam focused on making sure that the vaccine dissemination plan goes well. These awards reinforce the dedication of the department to improve the health of all Floridians and highlight the commitment of the individuals who work consistently to improve processes and save taxpayers' dollars. On behalf of our State Surgeon General and other agency leadership, congratulations to all department colleagues and teams who received a 2020 TaxWatch Productivity Award. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much. Next up, we are joined by DCF Director of Legislative Affairs, Michael Wickersheim.
Thank you, Chris, and special thank you to Dominic and Senator Lemieux. I also would like to give a very quick shout out to Rebecca Dorworth, who I've had the honor of knowing for over a decade, truly one of the superstars of this state. I'm honored to be a part of the TaxWatch Productivity Awards today, and we thank TaxWatch for over 30 years of recognizing the initiative of state employees. A big congratulations to the winners from the Department of Children and Families. What I'm most excited about is that every one of these projects embraces Secretary Popple's vision of transforming DCF from a crisis response agency to a person-centered prevention agency. Whether they're projects from our economic self-sufficiency team that reduce monthly processing in pediatric cases, or they eliminated unnecessary administrative cost of our phone system that resulted in $1 million worth of savings, or the online purchasing program that allowed our SNAP and TANF benefits to receive and purchase groceries online, or the creation of our chatbot that enabled our callers to access important information without needing to interact with a live agent. Our substance abuse and mental health teams that moved our accounts payable to one central location, which increased the volume of our invoices paid. Our Southern region, who created a paperless processing system to make remote working easier. Very great in these COVID times. Our Southeast region IT team that created an automatic technical solution to record business miles driven in personal cars. And of course, our Suncoast region, which coordinated key stakeholders to incorporate trauma-informed principles to the communities of that region. All of these winners, not just rising to the level of the TaxWatch Productivity Award, but also joining with our agency in the vision of transforming DCF to a prevention-centered agency. In August of 2019, Secretary Popple and DCF employees set a goal of reducing the number of families in crisis by 20% in 2021. Critical to this goal is the department's strategic plan that we call Elevate DCF. And through this plan, we're ensuring that children and adults we serve are safer by actively hardwiring prevention into the key areas of our operation and taking the lead in systematic accountability through landmark legislation signed into law by Governor DeSantis earlier this year. These actions are improving our financial health and working to make sure that the programs we use are held accountable for their performance. The DCF projects recognized here today show what happens when people connect and work hard to support the directions we're heading in as an agency. On behalf of Secretary Popple, I want to thank all the award winners from DCF and all the award winners from across the agencies. Thank you very much and congratulations on your win.
Thank you, Michael. Next up, we've got DMS Secretary, Mr. Satter.
Good afternoon, Chris. Thanks for having me. And good afternoon, everybody. I'm Jonathan Satter. I'm the Secretary of the Florida Department of Management Services. I'd like to thank Florida TaxWatch for having me today. I'd like to wish Dominic a belated happy birthday and send my best personal regards to Florida TaxWatch Chairman George Lemieux. This year has tested our team's ability to be responsive in support of our customers and our sister agencies while maintaining day-to-day operations in an evolving environment. I'm very proud of the work our DMS team continues to do. We're continuing to challenge the status quo. We're transforming the way people interact with government, and we're working very hard to find smart solutions to save Florida taxpayer dollars while advancing operations. We are investing in the public safety communications in communities. We are innovating healthcare by rewarding state group insurance members for shopping for high quality, low cost services. Finally, we are also digitizing government to make it easier and safer for people to do business with our state. Governor DeSantis' support and leadership has positioned our agency for success. We work toward his vision of an innovative, resilient, and tech-centered Florida. Thank you again to Florida TaxWatch for giving us the opportunity to highlight our team, and we look forward to joining you again next year to celebrate even greater successes. Thank you again.
Thank you very much for being here, Mr. Secretary. So the last speaker from an agency, in this case, a university, that we've got on the schedule today is UF Maintenance Superintendent Carl Johns.
Good afternoon. How y'all doing? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Again, I want to thank the TaxWatch for recognizing two of my employees, fellow workers that are on the ground every day. The first was a electrical supervisor, Vincent Graham. He's a guy that no job's too small, no job's too large. He was going through analyzing electrical consumption and realized we were using reheats on a lot of air handler units during the summertime, which was driving our costs. And he got with programming, they reprogramming, which set off a savings of about $30,000 a year. Along with that, I have a maintenance refrigeration technician, HVAC level 4+. He actually does most of the refrigeration at the Health Science Center and over at Vetmed. And he found a way to take some of our older units that use the old mercury switches that failed almost constantly, because the older systems get, the more often they fail. And working with the state, a lot of times we have a little bit older equipment, but he found a new way to get a newer thermostatic control system in there that was low cost. We had him change them out. We checked the 2 of them, let them run. Not only did it was it more environmentally safe, but it also was very, very less costly when we buy them and save energy on the units that we replaced them on. That was a savings of about $45,000 a year. So I have a lot of guys out here at the University of Florida Facility Service that are always, one thing we want to do is always want to look out to see where we can save money every day. Every little bit counts, and I appreciate y'all recognizing these guys. Thank you.
Great, thank you for all the work you do. So that is the program for this afternoon. Again, it's unfortunate that we're not able to do all this in person, and we look forward to seeing everyone again next year, hopefully. If any cash winners want to get in touch to come pick their checks up, my email is at the top of the chat. If you want to check that out before you hop off. And otherwise, thank you very much to everybody for being on today. Thank you to the sponsors. Congrats to all our winners. We'll be in touch.